This is the Black Powder Podcast, coming at you live and direct. Your salty tears season my life. It's the Black Powder Podcast. And we are live. This is the Black Powder Podcast. You know, I'm Marcus Matthews, the only real libertarian. Like I said, this is the Black Powder Podcast, the only real libertarian podcast. Today we have Eric Parker joining us.
And real quick, but y'all can hear me. Can both you? All right, hold on. We were having technical difficulties.
I can't hear him.
Everyone, cycle your mute on and off.
Cycle your mute button, Tub.
I can't hear him.
So
yeah, I'm telling you, cycle your mute button.
Yeah, you're muting me. What about now?
You just did it for me.
What about now?
Can you hear him now?
What about now?
No. Can you?
All right,
Because he's sure.
Yeah, I can hear him.
All right. I'm going out. Coming back.
Right.
I don't need to hear him this show. It'll be fine.
I mean, it's not a loss. And this is Tub, the other guy.
The other white guy who hangs out on the show with me. So it's nice that as the intro that your salty tears season your life.
Your salty tears.
It's good because I've seen you cook. You need some seasoning. Oh, there he is.
All right.
That's a load of malarkey because I sent you guys pictures of my meat. Yeah.
Whoa! All right, hang on. You cannot say it like that, Marcus.
Hey, maybe you should have been muted when you said that. Yes.
He chimed in with Eric. As soon as Eric gets on, Marcus is going, I sent y'all a picture of my meat.
Yeah.
I did.
It was before it was blackened, though.
Yes, it was.
I knew you weren't real black.
Well, I just want to let you guys know something, and everybody watching, that I spoke to Mitch McConnell today for 20 minutes, and he told me that the Black Powder Podcast was his favorite podcast, and he really wishes people voted for Libertarians.
Know that we want that out there.
That's what I was just gonna say. I'm like, no, dude, don't travel down. We don't want the brain dead guy to say, "Hey, those are the guys to listen to."
He's perfectly fine. I don't know why everybody's giving him a hard time. He's just, he needs some R&R.
Do you know why? Do you know why they're keeping his body on life support?
Thomas Massey.
Thomas Massey.
Yeah.
And if they pronounce him dead or whatever, and if he's okay, good. I'm not wishing death on anyone, even though he's right on the doorstep. We all know. But
let's be very.
He got one foot in.
Okay.
Basically, if they announce it now, there would have to be a special election that would be Republicans only, and freaking Thomas Massey mopped the floor. I'm just saying. I don't know.
What's bad
him on
to me,
ice for that reason.
Yeah. What's bad to me is this is a up in your face example of the duopoly's corruption, because they would rather keep a dead man's seat than have the people have a representation for power.
But you know why that is? It's not because of him, and it's not because of anything. It's because they know at some point they have the same issue. And so if they start saying it there, it's going to come back at them later on. I think we should put a poll up there. We should ask everybody, and you can start tallying the things to see how many people think he's dead, brain dead, or just fine.
Well, yeah,
he's not just fine.
The Democrats did it with Feinstein. Feinstein was not there the last 3 to 5 years of her. No, they had 2 years. Her last 2 terms. Yep. She was not there.
She was getting wheeled around everywhere. Listen, Maxine Waters.
Yeah.
She's upright, but her mind is not there.
No, none of them. And I don't know if it's the power or what it is, but it to me is disgusting. Tub, let's get
What's more dangerous? somebody in this situation with Mitch McConnell being on ice or the Democratic Socialists?
I think Mitch McConnell being on ice is worse because Democratic Socialists, you know who they are. You know what I mean? They're spoken and outright and not being honest, but they're showing some of their cards, right? Like they're not.
They show all their cards. That's why they're so successful. Is because Democrats tiptoe and lollygag around stuff. The Democratic Socialists are in people's faces saying this stuff, and that's where the Democratic Party has been failing because they just completely ignore voters. And they just say,
"Watch, I'm about to libertarian win this by disagreeing with y'all." Watch this. Right now, he cannot vote. He cannot do anything. He can just listen. I will take that over anybody who's sitting up there and voting and passing laws and wasting our money. I'll take the on ice. We should have 535 of them on ice.
The reason I disagree with this, and it's strictly for this race alone, is if it was Thomas Massey's decision or plan or desire to run in a special election. That's the main difference why I said for him. So I guess, it's two different scenarios.
Right.
So I guess I will concede you won this debate. I should have had the topic more clearly.
Okay, now we got to start the show. I'm sorry, Eric.
Yeah, what have we been doing here?
No. This is nice to meet you,
wait.
Tub. Nice to meet you, Marcus.
Oh wait, our guy,
pleasure.
He just backed out, so we got a few more minutes.
He
but
said,
I just want you have to step out for a second.
Yeah, he's like, wait a minute, this is how we're starting this. We're good.
But
right,
I just want to say this. I gave Tub a compliment in the he's back. I gave him a compliment in the pregame, and I'm still beside myself for doing this.
Yeah, you can't function right now.
Tub wins the debate. So there's no way that we are officially in the end times right now.
I should have been
this is over.
Start reading the Revelation stuff because it's happening.
I should have been more prepared, is all I'm saying. You know what I mean?
All right. So check this out.
Let's bring our guest forward.
Yeah. So we're going to the great state of Nebraska. I've never been there. Can't say I know. Nice. I do hear it's nice. I've been through Oklahoma. You can see Canada, but we're going to do a federal rate. It's flat. Oklahoma is just flat where I was.
Nebraska is not flat, right?
I don't know. We're about to find out. We're gonna ask our guy right here. So he's running for the 2nd Congressional District in the great state of Nebraska. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in our guest whose name is also Eric, but his is Eric Michael Foreman. You may know him from that 70s show. I jest. But here we go. Welcome to the show, Eric.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Awesome. So normally we forgot to mention this in the pregame, but Eric usually has 3 questions that we like to start off with, and they're not hard, they're not gotcha or anything like that. So I'm going to pass the baton to Eric. Tubbs will be back.
Yep. Hey, first, Eric, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
All right, good. I think Tubbs stepped out because he couldn't hear you. We're definitely having technical difficulties this episode. But so it's a 3-part question, but it's really a chance for you to introduce yourself. The focus is on libertarianism. But the first part of the question, and if you forget any parts or you want me to reiterate, feel free to ask, is what was like your aha moment that you realized you were a libertarian? And then when you're done answering that, you segue into when did you decide to join the Libertarian Party and why? And then finally, when did you decide to run for office as a libertarian and why? So, but this is a great opportunity for you to introduce yourself.
You're gonna hate me for this. It looks like you kind of cut out right as you started asking the question, so I missed the first part of it. You mind repeating yourself for me?
All right. I said.
Just do all 3 individual then.
All right. We'll do it 3 individual questions, one after another coming from me. The first question is, what was your aha moment on when you realized you were a libertarian?
After watching them change the laws and keep Ron Paul off the ballot, changing laws and how the percentage that they had to get to enjoy and enter into the debate. These are just like minor things that I just noticed because I wasn't into politics at all, you know. It's just one of those things. Seeing the lengths they would go to keep their power, and then the whole hope and change of Obama. Watching this guy and the division of our country just start to roll out in a seed. So just out the corner of my eye, and then we started seeing more attacks on our Second Amendment, and that's when I kind of got more active in myself. Especially when I moved back up here to Omaha, I started hanging out with some guys that were big into guns and got me feeling more comfortable because the guns I owned, I was always private. I never shared them with anybody. Never went to the range with anybody. It was always like my solo thing. So to find a giant gun community around here that does all kinds of cool stuff and it supports local businesses that support R2A, that was just a good time. Had a lot of great people doing that. But a few years back, about first Trump presidency, we kind of all fell out. Facebook cracked down on a lot of gun groups, same with YouTube, and then kind of lost touch with a lot of people. So just pretty much been in my own little world right now. But after watching the Epstein files and Kirk, that's really when I said, okay, I can't sit down anymore. Even though I can yell on social media and get my account suspended and try to challenge authority, nothing's going to happen standing in one place.
All right. Second part of the 3-part question. When did you join the Libertarian Party and why? What was the catalyst for that?
I can't remember when I officially joined the Libertarian Party. I know I voted for Gary Johnson and Joe Jorgensen. So I guess it had to be, Laura Ebke, I think, was my state senator that was running. She's pretty much one of the reasons that I said, hey, we got a Libertarian. She's helped get the Libertarians on the ballot permanently here in Nebraska. So big shout out to Laura Ebke, paving the way for us Libertarians here. It was just pretty much that kind of following. I still have a little liberal-like ideas, if you will, with my compassion, if you will, and how I want the ability to help a lot of people. But nothing helps us by putting us in debt. And if I don't like considering that term, we're just tax cattle, and I mean that's honestly how it feels. And so I want to change that. So when I went to Libertarian, it was like I just couldn't agree with either side of the party. I mean, it was almost obvious when you really think about our Constitution, our rights. It's like I want to stick to this, right to this, to letter of the law, like it's supposed to be handed down.
Awesome. And the third and last part of this 3-part question is, what made you decide to run for office and as a Libertarian?
Oh, Lord. Well, I wouldn't join either one of the other parties, although I did contemplate running as a Republican because, like Rand Paul and his father and Thomas Massey, they ran as Republicans because that's just how you win in the big 2-tent circus. But because of me, I feel there's better candidates like I know that should definitely run. A couple of them, I really hope I can inspire them to run too. I'm just running because I think a Libertarian should be challenging every federal seat that ever comes open. There should not be a seat that's left open. Localized, I think the same way. But I think in federal elections where it's most paramount, we protect our Constitution from our corruption and fraud, there should always be a Libertarian running in every race. So that's why I ran. That and some convincing and my big mouth got me into running. So
that's usually that right there for Libertarians. He said too much at the wrong time. And they go, hey, how about you?
Yeah, man, we really need somebody to run for this.
I just wanted to fuss. I didn't want to do anything.
Yeah.
No, that's
Libertarians just go to places to argue. Because I'd always tell people when I was buying fireworks, and I was telling them that I got at least 4 votes because we have a very large tax on fireworks and other stuff here that I said I wanted to get repealed. And then I told them I'm a Libertarian. Libertarians tell people they're Libertarians like vegetarians tell people they're vegetarians. Vegans.
Like vegans say,
CrossFit.
How do you know somebody's a vegan? They'll tell you.
Yeah, I'm into CrossFit. We know.
Yeah. All right, Tub.
All right, so first off, we'll start easy and simple. Describe your area. And when I say describe, I want you to start out first topographically. Because before we got on,
yeah, we were like, is it flat?
Yes, because Marcus suggests you can be in Oklahoma and see all the way to Canada. We're like,
Canada.
I don't know if that holds true
For
or
the
not.
most part, yes, I guess. When you get away from the valley and stuff that is eastern Nebraska to the Missouri River, it gets a little plain Jane out there. Yes. Out and then you get closer to Colorado, you're at that point where it's real dry and everything. So it's got its own unique ecosystem. I'll give it that. And even though it looks real dry out west like that, it's actually very plentiful of water underneath, and that's what us here in Nebraska are trying to protect from these data centers, that aquifer.
So our goal to keep you from being on the Department of Tourism. So here's what we want to do. Describe your area politically, your district specifically?
My district, from the stats that I've read upon, it's about a 40. It's a 30-30 split with 40 registered as independents. It's a very grab all, if you will. And with the way the division is in this country, it's almost guaranteed, left to right. So that's like 40% of people that could go either way, honestly, or 40% of people that don't like either way and either refrain from voting, don't want to support anyone from one certain party or another over anything. There's a lot of chance for a real third party to gain traction in 2026. And
how did the last election go numbers wise? Especially
I don't remember the last election because I wasn't paying attention to him that much. I know John Bacon took the seat here. He's been more of a moderate conservative, more left leaning as of recently because he's on his way out with nothing to lose.
All right, so here's what happens. So people head into DC because that's what you want to do. You want to head over to DC for some strange reason, and so so here's what happens when people get there. They suggest that they get a budget. And they say, hey, we want to add $20 million to this budget, but we're only going to take 10. And then they count that as a decrease in spending. And that's not a decrease in spending. A decrease in spending says, here's our budget from last year. We're going to go lower than that. So would you be a vote for actual decreased spending?
Absolutely.
Okay, now.
Absolutely.
How do you make that happen?
By going without. When you grow up, hand to mouth kind of thing, you know how to go without things and how to cut things out of your price tags and how to keep money in your pocket for future endeavors. I totally agree with slashing budgets. I think budgets get extraordinary big because they're either padded or they need to do more stuff to be able to get a bigger budget the next year, and it just keeps inflating themselves.
So is there an area that you can look at specifically and kind of go, hey, when I get there, I'd cut this out, I'd start cutting here?
I'd have to get my eyes on some stuff. Hopefully I can get some help from some really good people to point me in the right direction. But yeah, I'd love to take a look at it and cut whatever I possibly could.
Okay.
That's why I'm here. I'm here to tell you what to cut. First thing to cut is the ATF. Second thing to cut is the IRS. And when I say cut, I mean put a padlock on the door with a note that says closed permanently.
No, man, we're going to turn it into one of those government-run convenience stores. Have them on every corner.
Hey, now we'll get to freedom. We got to talk about freedom fuel. Yeah, we got to talk about freedom fuel at some point in this. But Tub,
ATF.
So, all right. So, Marcus, as a part of this, I'll cover when you go over website stuff. So I'll get to that part in a minute. Okay. Usually, what happened to your light, dude?
Wait, what light? What happened?
There you go. Oh, there it is. Okay, you went darker for a second there.
Wow.
Oh, do we get dark? I got that option too.
Wait, all I did. You know what it is? Yeah, I clicked on his webpage and he has a black background on his webpage, and I really appreciate that, brother, because we all got to stick together. We got to represent somehow in the Libertarian Party. It's a background.
That's all it takes to be a black libertarian is on your website, put a black background. Listen, my phone's always libertarian then.
I mean, you could always go up to somebody and say, at least I have a black background. If they ask you if you know any black people.
They don't have to know why. It's not my family. It's my website.
I got a black background. What does that mean?
All right, so let's do the easy one next. So I do know that you mentioned on your website, so I'll save Marcus at 30 seconds. On your website, you mentioned the idea about being against like career politicians. So would you be willing to go and self-inflict term limits.
I was a proponent for the Convention of States because that's one of their main things they're trying to do. That was how I thought I was helping, signing those petitions, getting it passed. Nebraska did adopt it here. We still need more states to do it. Yes, I'm trying to force that term limits. I'm trying to force a restraint on their spending, so maybe we can start thinking about stopping the income tax altogether. A lot of avenues I can go with on that, so I won't go too much on it. But to answer your question, yeah.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
how many years would you say
Right.
I'm going to self-term limit? How many terms? Or how many
Because
years?
of what I understand about your first 2 years, it takes a minute to get to know people, get to make those connections, get the ball rolling. I'm sure you're going to have to scratch some backs to get some support for what you want to do. I think your junior and senior year pretty much is when you can start introducing your own legislation and really activating. But so in my opinion, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, it's, I think, nominal. I think anything more than that might be a little too connective because we want to cycle it out, but we also don't want their best friends that they've, been
groomed.
just switching money and switching hands and switching in the election. We don't need that anymore. We need I like the idea of a lottery system. Like you throw it out there like a Powerball. Like, hey, you've been selected if you'd like to run for Congress, with opportunities to really get engaged if that's really what you want.
So
Something like that. It's always random.
That kind of gives me a decent idea. How many people, and this might be a low number, but do you think would be willing to run for Congress as a libertarian in your district? You know what I mean?
Apparently.
Are we drafting people like we're forcing them to run for Congress?
Put a bag over the head, throw it in the back of the
think
van,
about it. Now, wouldn't that be
It's your
good?
turn.
Yeah, I don't
if you
really
were forced
want to
do so, I don't really want to go to DC, but I know it's needed. And
yeah,
how everything you find out and experience in your life just start building up until you finally come to a final resolution kind of thing.
yeah.
Well, a couple years ago, my oldest daughter was doing a lot of civics and our history and Hamilton and all that stuff. And she had made the comment that she wanted to be president. And I asked her, why would you want to be president? And she answered with the best answer I've heard. She says, I don't want to be president, but I think someone needs to be president.
Wow.
So I was like, oh, anything you want to do. Well, that's what kind of got I guess maybe the late that smoke inside me to start thinking about politics more and getting involved.
Awesome.
I try to contact my local rep here and try to take his job, but I like the guy, so I said, nah, we'll find something else.
Our system is so jacked up though that is unacceptable. Like Eric, remember one night we were at a forum here, and I remember I said, I don't need this. I don't have to be on city council. I'm good. I got a life that I'm perfectly happy with. And they were like, oh, we don't need him then. It's like they only want people who that's their goal.
Is their life.
They turn it into their life.
Yep.
Every grift they can make, every dollar they can snake, that's their life. And the money is no interest to me. My wife doesn't like this idea, but I thought about, I live on less than $70,000 a year, guys. And the salary for Congress is what, $175,000? I said, well, I would take $75,000. I'd get a little bump in my normal pay. And then I'd give away $100,000 to all these great charities that I've met while talking to these constituents. That's about me. I guess you hear this from a lot of politicians running, but meeting people really is great. Getting out in your community is freaking awesome. The people, the perspectives, the lines of work these people are in, just invigorates my soul about America. But I know it must not feel that way on the East Coast or West Coast as much as it does here in Nebraska. But that's, again, why I'm trying to fight to keep it this way.
No, here in the fourth largest economy in the world,
he had to say it.
I believe the same thing. And I'm going to pass the mic to Tub, but the only thing I want to say, if there's no better example of why we should have term limits, it's Dianne Feinstein and Mitch McConnell, who I talked to just now for about 5 minutes. We were texting each other.
Oh, I thought that was Mitch McConnell.
While we were doing the show, he's texting.
Marcus is in a group text with Mitch McConnell, Dianne Feinstein, and whoever else is
and Maxine Waters.
Yeah, there you go. And it was a lot of gurgling text noises. I don't know if I can articulate that in the. It was like, I was like, okay, I'll just put this through Chat GBT and see what
the
it's trying to say.
pumps in the background.
Yeah, but you had one more.
Let's just real quick. So what you were saying there, like when you get out and about, you start actually talking to people. What are you finding they're saying? What are their issues? And also, how do they seem to be about the idea of you being a libertarian?
The only condemnation I got from me being a libertarian was someone confusing it with like Democrat light.
Yeah.
And I had to understand where he was coming from. I kind of had him elaborate, and I talked about what do you think about JFK, John F. Kennedy, type of liberal? He's like, I don't like this. Well, that's kind of where I'd be if I was going to be liberal, since adhere to the Constitution verbatim. Gun-toting liberal is what I would be. That kind of made him smile a little bit, but that ended this conversation. So I thought that was a good close on it. Being a libertarian, I was kind of worried about that because of the negative aspects people say about it unfoundedly most of the time, and trying to convince them. And then I didn't like doing that. I didn't like trying to explain too much about who I am and what my beliefs are. So I always refer to it as like, our country was founded on libertarianism ideas. Like the way everybody's an individual, everybody has equal rights. No one's above, we are the power kind of thing. And it's always come natural to me in that mindset. And libertarians are the closest to that mindset, regardless which way they fall in it. I know we have leftist, progressive libertarians and libertarian socialists, whatever that means. But I believe myself as a conservative Christian with liberal views sometimes. I believe in good charity. I may have forgotten what your question is now.
Oh no,
I do that too.
Well, hold on.
The first part, is what are people like? What are people saying the issues are? Like when you guys start talking to them. The reason why I ask this is, I've mentioned this before, is sometimes we go, especially maybe as libertarians, we kind of go out with all these things like, and we have all of our talking points because we're angry libertarians, and we make assumptions. Like I mentioned one time, and it's changed my whole thinking. One time I went and talked to some guys that were sitting out there, and I had it completely wrong. In my mind, I knew what they were going to say their problems were, and they completely threw me off. And I'm like, all right, wait a minute. I've got to stop going and thinking I know what their problems are. And so what do you find? Not what do you like? What are you going out there finding? They're going, hey, here's our problems. Here's our issues inside of this district and what we have going on.
I know what their problems are. And so what do you find? Not what do you like? What are you going out there finding? They're going, hey, here's our problems. Here's our issues.
What the heck is that?
You got cut out. I had to switch to my alternate screen.
Oh, okay. I was like, what did
just,
Tub do? That's something Tub usually does.
Sit here.
Can I do?
I tell you what. Let me take you for a trip in my house. I'll see if I can go get closer to the Wi-Fi. I'm hoping it's not my problem.
While you're doing that, I have an answer for Tub to that question. I know what everybody's problem is. It's the government, and that is without a doubt the number one issue.
Do you know not everybody believes that? There are a lot of people who rely on government.
Yeah. That's because they went to public schools, and from kindergarten they tell them to line up in this line. Now you're going to go down and either sit on this square with a number with your crisscross applesauce and your hands on your lap, or you're going to sit at your desk with your hands intercoupled like this, sitting up straight, waiting for instruction.
Training you.
And they're training you to obey authority. Stand up, say the Pledge of Allegiance, maybe say sing a patriotic song. Like that's all the stuff we had to do when I was in school.
Yeah, if you think about it, they say, hey, listen. They say, hey, show up at this spot at this time for a bus to bring you to a place that they determined for you. And you walk into that determined place, into a determined classroom. And then you will sit there and do what they tell you to do until you hear a buzzer or a bell to go to the next thing. And so all they've done, and then every now and then they give you weekends or this little week off. They're training us to go, we're workers. We listen for a bell. We listen for the buzzer to do the next thing. And then we get happy. We get a week off. We got a week off. And so we're trained for that.
Literally, if you don't do that and tell them my child is going to be homeschooled, if you don't do that, the government will send somebody to your door, and it will escalate to the point where somebody with a badge will come to your door, and they will say, "Hey, you're abusing your child. We're going to take them from you." So that's what the government does, and that's why the libertarian movement and why podcasts like this. Because one thing, to Eric Foreman's point, libertarians need to define themselves. We can no longer let those other people define us, and that's where we failed with Chase, because Chase had great ideas. A lot of people didn't like his lifestyle, but if you're worried about what he's doing in the privacy of his own abode or whatever, that's kind of your problem. Because no, he was not worried about what you're doing. I'm not worried about what you're doing. I don't think anybody on this panel is worrying about what you're doing in the privacy of your own home or hotel room, whatever you're doing. That's none of our business, as long as you're not harming nobody else and it's consenting. And that's what a lot of people on the right, they tend to get, especially right leaning, they were up in arms over that. And I was like, okay, I get where you're coming from, but nobody's forcing. Chase isn't coming to your bedroom and saying this is what we're about to do with each other. You know what I mean?
Chase ain't like,
when I'm president.
When I'm president, you gotta be gay.
Yeah. I was like, damn it, they finally won.
Listen, one time while he was running, he took a break and he went down. Well, he was doing some stuff in Hawaii, like he was getting vacation and doing some running stuff. And I remember he sent me a picture, like he texted me a picture of him on the beach. And I'm like, dude, can you please not be the gay guy sending me a picture with your shirt off? Like, can I please not have this on my phone?
Oh,
hey,
I was wrong. I was wrong.
Bastard,
he was forcing his lifestyle. I take back everything I said.
Do what you gotta do. I bet I still have it on here.
Oh, I don't want to see that. No.
Oh, if I had to go through it, y'all are going through it.
Eric Foreman was about to answer a question. Does anyone?
I wasn't I?
Please.
But does anyone remember the question?
I do. I do, because I said it.
Who's the?
I asked how the people out there, out as you're talking to the community, what are their issues?
Eric
Foreman. Got that? Eric?
Did you hear Tub?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear any of us?
I can hear all of you.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. He is. Can you repeat the question?
On a side note, look, there. Look, there's the picture I got. I'm like, dude.
I can't wait. Is that a tank top he's wearing, or is that his tan line?
He does right there. Look at that. Good Lord. All right.
He's from Georgia. They don't have tropical sun in Georgia.
And they got farmers' tans, even if you ain't a farmer.
Now, the good thing about it,
daughters and peaches.
He said that happened while he was out shooting guns. So, dude, if you're going to get half burnt up, shooting guns is a pretty solid reason to get it.
Yeah.
That's a manly thing to do.
All right. So now back to Mr. Foreman. So the question is what are you finding when you go out there? What are you finding they're saying the issues are?
They're disenfranchised, and they're really not wanting to vote at all. After seeing and feeling let down a lot of the times, they feel like neither party represents them, of course. It's pretty much will spark the whole thing of real representation being my little solid platform, giving you guys, my constituency, someone who actually listens, who actually take it to there. It doesn't just phone in town halls because they're too busy in DC hobnobbing and fundraising to actually listen to their constituency or actually follow up on bills. I think that's what we need. It's supposed to be a service to your community, especially if you love America. I think I wouldn't even say subcontracted it, but subleased our responsibility in this country to bureaucrats and rich people who only seek to enrich themselves on the backs of the working class. Yeah, so what I find is they're just missing that representation. And this goes from both sides, right and left. A story I like to tell is right when the Iran war just kicked off, I was working that Saturday and I drove by, and there's a group of protesters, definitely left-wing progressives, you could tell. They got all the outfits on you need to know. And I said, on my way back, I'm going to stop and talk to them, because this was just right after I put myself in the ballot, and I'm feeling frisky. And knowing that these were probably 10 years ago, I'd probably argue with online. And I stopped and I started talking to them. This is a younger generation with some older generation, but I stopped and talked to them. And the thoughts that they were giving me was not so far off from the way I felt. They did not like the girls or the men in girls' bathrooms They didn't like the boys and girls sports, but they felt that their party was pushing it on them. Like they had no really choice. Vote blue no matter who and no matter what we do kind of mentality that they didn't like. And they were so confused that even their local, like chapters that they had and all these protest groups, they're all like individual groups, but they all combine and coordinate with each other to do these protests. So just in this one protest of maybe 30 to 50 people, there's probably 4 or 5 different group organizations of people involved with those that get together and do these little protests. And they're organized pretty well, but they're also directed by one mouth, and that's probably the DNC, given that narrative. So if they want to keep getting active and this great avenue that the DNC has provided for them, then they'll keep doing it, even with the objections of it. But I find that one was really refreshing to me because it felt like he was saying, Tub, that I was thinking they thought a certain way, and then when I heard their perspective and came up with a great solution together, it was inspiring to me. Hearing these young minds. One, I'll tell you the solution: stop giving foreign aid to countries that use it for their own defenses and their own health system where they get it all free. If Americans aren't getting free health care, you don't get to use my money to give your citizens free health care. Bottom line, right. And all that aid right away on day one. Sorry, go ahead.
One of the countries he's talking about.
Oh.
Right. They're paying their pensions and everything too.
To my FBI handler, I don't agree with these guys. They're our greatest ally.
Don't you ready to do Mark, man? I bet you got a drone outside your house right now.
They're the only democracy in the Middle East. Anyway, I think you just made another great point on why we need term limits is because these people have to
What do you mean these people?
Those people. You people, not you people. I didn't even say you people this episode.
What do you mean, you people?
Those people, being that their term is only 2 years, are on 24 hours, 365 re-election cycles and campaigns. They don't stop trying to get in front of cameras because they are trying to get reelected, because basically you have 12 months to legislate and then 12 months to campain.
So bull crap. They have 3 months to legislate, and then they got 9 months for vacation.
That's over two. Yeah, let's go. Can we compromise on 6 months, because I'm going over the 2 years?
But the reality of that, the 2-year terms are supposed to be this ongoing, in touch with the people type of thing, and then you have the Senate to balance it out, to kind of be a little slow. The Senate is supposed to be slower. It's supposed to be a longer. But what's happened is you've got these people who are going there for 40 years. They don't talk to the people anymore, and so their mindset is not where the country is, and that's become our issue. And that's why. The House is supposed to be fast. It's supposed to be a changeover. It's supposed to be moving quickly and be in touch with the people more than Senate is.
And part-time.
Absolutely.
The founders at the time were pretty smart, and they realized that, hey, look, these people are supposed to be boots on the ground in their community. And whenever the community gets pissed off and says, this guy isn't representing us anymore, he's out in 2 years. We don't got to wait 6 years or 4 years for a new president, or a lifetime appointment for a Supreme Court justice. You know what I mean? So they were pretty smart in their thinking then. The problem now, and I'm not disagreeing with the Constitution, but I'm just saying the reality is now it is just money funneled in. It's legacy media. It's uninformed voters. And like you said, disenfranchised. There's just burnout voters. And they're like, why even keep going if I keep getting the same thing? And we can't unseat a bad incumbent, but you want to unseat Thomas Massey. You know what I mean?
I think that woke a lot of people up this year watching that with Thomas Massey. That was too much. Too much.
I hope it woke up a lot of people, but I've said this on several podcasts.
Not only wake up.
Americans can be quite dumb at times, because they want comfort and convenience. Our stores are called convenience stores, and we have the best sofas in the world because we want to be able to be comfortable after we come back from the convenience store and get in our red 40 diet snacks and our carbonated drinks, sugary carbonated drinks.
I was just going to say,
hey, hold on, Tub. I will not have you besmirching malt liquor on this podcast.
I didn't say anything bad. I'm just simply saying you need to get your
He's just pointing out we know you like it.
But
founding fathers went to Washington with this thinking of, I'm going to go serve my thing, but I want to be done. I want to go back home and do what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in
there
your
was
life.
no career.
Right.
They wanted to get gone. Marcus,
And
you
the
go
first
to the website
president.
stuff.
Well,
the first president didn't want to be a career politician.
And didn't they want to handle their business in like 40 days or something? So you get
Well,
get
they were.
back, you know what I mean?
I won't get into details, but most of them were farmers and owners of large farms. With
that's what we're going with. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But
what? That's crazy.
Big livestock.
Any farmer knows you have to tend to it for the spring, the
somebody's
summer,
got to tend to it.
and then you have to harvest. And then you had time to legislate in the winter when you weren't doing business, because they were I forgot the term for it. I don't know if I can enunciate it right now anyway, but they were farmers that had to tend to their farm. Agrarian society.
Agrarian.
It was agrarian society. So
go to the website, Marcus.
So with that being said, I want to get to your point of returning the house to we the people, because that's why you're running. So expand on that for everybody listening and define yourself on that.
Well, the return to we the people is about finding others like myself that are sick and tired, that have never thought about politics, getting them to run, finding their path, finding where they should identify and why they should get involved. Mostly everybody's concerned that the cost of everything is an easier one to put out there than anything. Everybody feels the crunch. We know our wages haven't kept up with inflation by any means, but everything keeps going up. Possible that they're living the way they are now, and getting them out there and getting the libertarian name out there is probably the only way we can really unite the country and get away from the two-party power, by really building the middle ground.
Yeah, I think that's a major reason why you're seeing democratic socialists gaining traction, because a lot of Americans were told you do X, Y, and Z in government indoctrination schools, and they're doing X, Y, and Z and after the government indoctrination school told them what to do, and they're still not able to achieve that quote-unquote American dream after doing what they were told you needed to do. And history has always shown us that, whenever you've seen a rise in socialism, it was because of crony capitalism, because we're not in a true capitalist system where the free market prevails right now. And
making
that's
that
the
distinction
problem.
is important.
Yeah. And that's why Mamdani and all these other a-holes are coming into power, is because, my kids' generation aren't seeing, I moved out of the house when I was 22 years old. My rent was $300 a month. That was well within a range of making, I think I was making $17 an hour at the time. I've always been highly technical in my skill set in the IT field, so I always make decent money.
To make that.
But yeah, $17 an hour. I was making that back in the 90s. And
that's a lot of can returning.
That is, man. That's a brand new car every month. I mean, payment for every month. So therefore, your $300 rent and your $300 car payment, maybe $250, maybe $150.
Yeah, and I still had money to go out there and wine and dine the beautiful ladies.
And that's it. He ended there. Wine and dine.
Wear some Adidas sweatsuits.
Oh, yeah, I had it all.
Still had those. He still had those.
But my son was making $25 an hour, and he can't afford an apartment by himself out here.
Right.
And
they have to team up. They have to get roommates for until they're 30, it seems.
Yeah.
So
and that's why you're seeing the youth like that. Yeah.
I'm gonna interject. So I looked up the numbers of what's his name? The guy Don
Bacon,
but he's not running for re-election, or
no.
Did he lose his primary?
No, he wasn't going to run. The day he announced he wasn't going to run, the very next day, the Brinker Harding, the Republican candidate, he announced he was running, kind of thing. So it was pretty much passing him the baton.
Yeah. Here you go. You're the establishment Republican choice.
That was fear. You're better off saying, "Oh, I didn't want to," than get beat.
Was there? And I'm not trying to get into Republican politics, but real quick. was there a primary election for the Republican candidate, or is that still going to happen?
No, at the very beginning, I think his name was Lindstrom. I think he was trying to run, and then he dropped out. He actually left the Republican Party, and so Brinker was the sole Republican to run. So just like me, I ran unopposed. So we both won our primaries technically, and so now it's just us three on the ballot.
So you, a Democrat and a Republican, correct?
Yep.
So
with the numbers out there,
either me or him to beat. He's like 15 years.
So I got the numbers here, and this is why. Well, I was just saying, Eric mentioned how he's getting some attention. Last election, Ron Bacon only got 50.9% against the Democrat. He barely won. So I looked at the map. Your congressional map is basically, it's a pretty wild congressional map. People go look at it. I wish I could screen share.
It's
I probably could have. But it's like Omaha, basically, is your congressional district. And then the suburbs of Omaha is like District 1, I think. Maybe.
Vegas recently changed that a few years ago.
And then the rest of Nebraska basically is District 3. So you got 3 districts. And that's how, if anyone wants to understand the makeup of the population of Nebraska, if it's 600,000 per district, Omaha, outside of Omaha, rest of the state. So 50.9 was 160,198. And the Democrat got 49.1, which was 154,369. Long story short, people are pissed. People are pissed right now because they're worried you're going to pull 0.9% of the vote one way or the other, regardless which party.
I'm hoping more. I want to cause some trouble.
Well, that's all I'm saying. Like, heck yeah. I want you, and hear me out, I want you to win. But if you got 5% and send a message, they'd be like, dang, son, where'd you find this? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I'm hoping for 10 to 12%. I mean, that's.
There you go, dude. That's what I'm saying.
I'm trying to be realistic. My hopes are low, but my aspirations are high. Does that make any sense?
No, and it sounds like you've been doing a great job getting out there and campaigning. And by the way, can we put the links up to your website? I don't know that we've done this once this podcast.
I think you have. I saw it earlier. You're good.
So so are you raising money? Are you raising money? How's campaigning?
I'm trying to get over my own hangups about me being so independent and never wanting to ask anybody for anything other than a helping hand. And I started the Give, Send, Go account, but I always encourage people. I know times are tough, but I'd rather have a good word or a prayer if you can't donate $1 kind of thing. That's how I was putting it. But the more you get into it and the more swamp I feel like I'm swimming towards, I need money. That's just the bottom line of it. And I still haven't found a way to really ask people for it yet. So I'm really thankful for people like you who promote me and shout me out like that. I really, really do appreciate that.
All right. So, all right, hang on. I'm going to church us real quick.
Go ahead.
All right.
Church us?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to church us a little bit. So here's why. Okay. So when I was bivocational, okay, at one point the church started growing and I left my job and I went to the church. I was drawing no money from the church. None. Our goal was just grow the church, do what it needs to do. Nobody's taking money out of this. And so when we did that, we had big lifestyle changes in our house, obviously. And so once that happened, there'd be people who would come to me and go, hey, pastor, hey, can we help you? And my pride, especially as a man, was always, nope. We're good. We're fine. Now, my wife was probably saying, they go, no, shut up. Let them help us. But inside it, so what happens is sometimes our pride gets in the way of going, yes, I could use some help. And I say this for a reason, because asking for money was one of my issues when I was running here locally. I don't like the idea of going around and asking for money. But here's what happens. For some people, the best way that they can help is money. Like, they don't have time. They're not going to be your door knockers. They're not going to make phone calls for you. But and ask them, hey, listen, here's what I need. If you don't want to knock on doors, if you don't have time, hey, if you could throw a few bucks at me, that'd be great. And so I'm trying to tell you, because this is something I had to learn. I struggle with it in church, and I struggle with it, campaigning for office. And so what you have to understand is, unfortunately, you didn't cause the money problem. Money's in politics anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
You have to be willing to at least, hey, I'll give you some options and ask them. Be like, hey, listen, do you have time? And if they say, yeah, I have time, great. Here's what I'm going to need. I'm going to need door knockers. I'm going to need these type of things. And then if they go, hey, I really don't, you go, hey, no problem. If you can throw a few bucks at me, because you're going to need both of those. And don't automatically assume that, well, I don't want to ask for money, but that might be what people are waiting. Because some people, you know, Mark, or not Marcus, you don't know. Eric, you know, some people were just waiting for us to ask. Like, honestly, like how many times did you have somebody like, hey, why didn't you donate to my campaign? You go, well, you didn't ask.
You never asked.
You never asked. And so trust me, I know it sucks because I think we would agree with you. Like you hate the money, the idea of asking for money, but maybe sell it that way. Hey, do you have time? No? Great. No problem. How about this thing?
I'll take that definitely into consideration.
For me, it became harder to ask people I was closer to for money than to ask a complete stranger at the end of the campaign season, because we had done the trainings, done the classes. I got used to it. You'd find connections. You find the people that are politically connected and care and want to see something different. And then you have your aunt, your cousin, your brother who loves you, or your dad. My dad gave a lot of money to my campaign. You know what I mean? And he doesn't regret it either. And I didn't win, but he still doesn't regret it. I'm just saying it was harder to ask my dad for campaign donations than it was someone I just met in that moment and I'll be honest, at a Republican event when I'm trying to steal votes.
All of them.
You know what I mean? Every Republican event, I was stealing votes.
Every Republican event, all of them. Like to
nice
the point where, like, dude, you can't be here. And he would be there anyway. So Eric
kicked me out. I'd stand outside and hand my stuff out there, outside.
All right. Marcus, you got 8 minutes. Hit the website, brother.
The website's up right now.
No, hit the questions on the website, from the website.
Okay,
pull
my bad.
This website. Hey, the screen's go black. Everyone, you could take off your sunburn.
No, I moved it. I have two screens, so I moved it over to the other screen. Let's talk about the justice system reform, local accountability, and rural public safety on your platform.
This is an idea I have about how do we hold those who violate our Constitution accountable with actual punishment. If they can't charge them with a crime of sorts, why can't your county sheriff, with the authority to uphold the Constitution, charge them enough where they would be ineligible to run for office again?
What do you mean?
So, can you give us an example? It sounds like you got a specific reason.
Let's see. Let's say the COVID stuff. How about that for a perfect example? The mandating those kind of things. If your county sheriff stood up to your city ordinances or your state ordinances, however it came down, and said, no, you cannot do this. You were literally, let's put it, all the other facets of it we can argue about. But if we had a constitutional sheriff to be able to say, no, that everybody on the city council who tried to mandate this against the will of the people, you're ineligible to run for office. Now, that's an official constitutional, like, I don't know how you would put it, like a document, like it's stamped and sealed,
Well,
ineligible to run for re-election. I don't know if it's possible. I'm hoping there's some smart people out there that can help walk me through it and make it happen.
Well, let me expand on that. Yeah, let me expand on that. The Constitution is a set of rules for the government. So if you're in the government, if you're an elected official in the government, the Constitution are the boundaries to which you can govern. It has been relegated to you by the Republic, and the Republic is the people consenting to you being in the government and doing your job. So when people violate the Constitution, they are going not only against their oath, they're going against the Republic, and they should be hung, tarred, and feathered when they do not follow the Constitution. The Constitution doesn't have shit. I'm sorry, Tub. It doesn't have a darn thing to do with
Eric.
Yeah, sorry.
Everybody but you, Marcus.
Yeah, it doesn't have a darn thing to do with it. It is a guarantor of rights that was codified in the I forgot what they called it, assembly, when they did all that. But it's just a guarantor of rights, because the only entity that has ever taken away the rights of mankind is government. And that's the lesson that the founding fathers learned when they did the Great American Experiment. They saw the European monarchy. You couldn't even hunt in Europe because all the land belonged to the king, and that was his domain. You know, that's why there's not a hunting culture and not a gun culture in Europe, because they couldn't do all of that stuff. The government's
and
like, hey,
you know,
there's no fishing culture either.
Revolutions and stuff.
Yeah, all that good stuff. So yeah,
I feel like Eric Marcus, he's not a constitutional lawyer, but he basically answered the question. Yes, we think it's doable.
Tub.
All right, so I want to go back a step, and we were talking about affordability. So two things. One is what are some options that you have to make things more affordable? And then kind of the follow-up to that is, what could you do in DC that would help make things more affordable back in your district?
Well, I like the idea of getting rid of corporate subsidies and giving it to local entities and local businesses. Like, say there's a grocery store that's ran by a neighborhood, old fella, and they want to expand. They want to compete with Walmart and stuff like that. They want to expand on their building. There should be a program that allows them to borrow interest-free from taxpayers, if it's approved, and from the federal government, to be able to build businesses locally. But a lot of the things that I like to see in my community starts in my community. In U.S. Congress, I have like a lot of my accountability stuff. I wanted to be on the Judiciary Committee, the Ways and Means Committees. These are things that, from that point of it, I can help direct dollars and direct resources and possibly influence to other organizations around my local chapter, while keeping our federal government in check with our Constitution.
So if you get DC, what is your responsibility back to your district? What do you think is your purpose for? Is it just to get in DC and represent my district, or do you have
not at all.
I'm here to help those people.
Let's think of it as like Terminator. My primary objective is to represent my people, my community, my city, my state. The secondary is to go into Congress and back up the people that I see already trying to fight the good fight and always being outnumbered, never having enough backing to push bills or to stop bills or to really halt it. We see the power of that vote and how much they want to get rid of the filibuster, because I like the filibuster. I think it's an opportunity for us to really fight bad bills over and over again if you have the tenacity to keep going through with it. I don't want to see it ended, but if that's going to be the case, we need more liberty-minded people in U.S. Congress to hold that line, at least make a pie chunk out where nothing can get passed without that constitutionality.
Can I say this real quick about the filibuster? Then I'll pass it to Tub. Hold that thought real quick. All these Republicans talking about they want to get rid of the filibuster. I don't think they understand. Within 5 years, abortion will be illegal in the entire country. So when you say you want to get rid of the filibuster, you need to be thinking about giving government more power in the hands of a Gavin Newsom or a Mamdani. That's what you really need to be thinking about when they say get rid of the filibuster. I'm sorry, Ted, go ahead.
Hold on real quick. I'll interject and I'll say this. I am okay with it being a verbal, standing, working, active filibuster, if that makes sense. You got to stand up and you got to orate like our guy, or my guy. I don't know if Marcus still likes him or not. Rand Paul has done, where he's been on the floor for 12 hours, and you can see he's in his A6 walking shoes because he knows, like, yeah, I'm about to be out here, and I'm speaking against drone strikes in Yemen or whatever it was that he was speaking against. That was the idea of the filibuster, is you're there and you got the floor as long as you can hold it, and you're debating this idea. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And the point is to change the minds of your, I guess, counterparts or whatever. You know what I mean? And I get it. Like, there's some that it is that's kind of required, in my opinion, of the filibuster. But I agree.
Only thing I will say about Rand Paul is he's had enough time to train for round 2 against his neighbor. I'm sorry, Tub.
Yes, Eric, what you're saying is when the filibuster means you actually have to do the work. You don't just get to say, we're filibustering. No, get up there and speak. Put the work into it. So here's my thing for you, Mr. Foreman. So what happens is we send a lot of our money to DC so we can beg to get it back at home again. Okay. So the way a lot of people go, I don't want federal funding back at my district. I go, wait a minute. That's just you getting your own money back. I'm actually okay with that. Listen, I don't like the fact that they keep taking it. I'd rather cut that out from the start. But if they keep
that's the ultimate goal. and the federal income tax,
but if
and the
they're
Fed
going
all
to take
together.
it anyway, let's get some of it back. So in
All
getting
of it,
some of
yeah.
it back for you in your district, what would be some things that you believe, first off, is reasonable and is acceptable to take money from DC to put it back in your district? What would you put those towards?
If I could take money from DC and put it back to my community, what would I want to distribute it to for?
Yes.
Back.
Yep.
How can I give it back to the people?
Well, yeah.
Like a bigger refund check, a dividend out. I mean, something of the nature. Put it back in the people's pocket, so they can go spend it at a local business, so that local business can grow. Maybe hire another employee. Maybe expand on their store. I want more money in the pockets, less money in the government's till. If that makes sense. I want their budgets to be so constricted that they have to beg the American people for a tax increase. And if we don't say yes on the ballot for this tax increase, they don't get it. They can't appropriate the money. They can't do backroom deals promising each other, I'll vote for you and give you a re-election if you let this bill and let me get this contract to build this skyscraper, and for that I'll have to start for 30 years.
So here's your new campaign slogan: Eric Foreman for larger tax refunds. There you go.
No, not tax refunds. It's your money. You need to refund your money.
All right.
Taking what was stolen. Taking what was stolen.
Returns.
That's already on my website, I think.
We're gonna, as we start to wrap this up, I'm gonna pass the mic to Eric for his last question/comments.
First off, it's probably gonna interrupt and get in the way, but what are you right now? What help do you need from your donors and new donors? Hopefully, Marcus, go put the link up there.
Yes, sir.
Right
right
now,
on this, sir.
Yes, I'm on it, sir.
Right
yes,
now, your biggest need for you and your campaign spending. What's the next thing you'd like to be able to raise money for?
A major advertisement push. I know with all the big campaigns and the yard signs and the TV commercials, people are going to get burnt out really fast. But what I want to do is I want to try to hype them to something different. You know, when you see the same old bland talk all over, you want to mute the channel, mute your radio in the car, whatever. I want to be towards that close, like a September, October push, where that's where I get a blitz of advertisement, where you got someone fresh, someone speaking new. So that way, when you walk into that ballot at the beginning of November, I'm fresh in the mind. My name's fresh. I think a lot of the joke I had before I ran was because my name's Eric Foreman from that 70s show, and also House. People will say, man, just your name recognition alone will be like, hey, I know that name. I'll just vote for him. I don't know. So that part was a little more convincing too. But
all right.
I think we can really do something out here. But my biggest concern is just that advertisement push. I'm trying to do as much as I can, groundwork. I'm trying to organize some barbecues. I'm trying to do our 2A challenge, which is I'm wanting a participation between the gun ranges and gun stores around my area. For anybody in the gun community, try to do what we used to do like 10, 15 years ago. I want to do golf outings, things like that. But the only other thing I can really put my finger on is the advertisement. I need to be able to reach more people at one time every single day. So every single dollar seems to help me find one more person.
For those of you listening, and I jest and I'm joking here, but he's trying to raise money to purchase a 1969 Oldsmobile Vista Cruiser.
Vista Cruiser.
That would be dope. But I'm a Buick fan, honestly. I'm Buick.
Put his campaign slogan on there, like Eric Foreman, and he's driving a Vista Cruiser. I'm just saying, like, I think it's a great idea.
Don't be a dumbass. Vote gold.
Hey, there you go.
Hey,
it's got Red Foreman on there.
Like that.
Dude, that's awesome. Don't be a dumbass. Vote gold. So, could you get behind that? You get the joke, right? Can we say that?
I need someone to make me a meme of that. That would just be a great one to share.
Don't be a donkey.
Don't be a donkey.
Or dumb and then
dumb
donkey.
I'm pretty sure ass is in the Bible, though. That's why I'm comfortable saying it right now.
Dumb space. Yeah, I put a space in between the two, Chubb. I said dumb space ass.
And according to Trump, dumb doesn't have a B in it, so it's dumb. Like, you know, like
dumb.
Well, Trump was probably going off the dumb suckers. That's probably where he thinks the word came from. That's how it's supposed to be spelled.
Let's tell
all right.
Anyways, All right,
Eric, you good?
I'm
I'm
good.
good.
Not you, Eric. Eric.
Other Eric.
That Eric.
Which one?
Nice try, Mr.
Which
Foreman.
one?
You're
See, that's why I put out Eric
You know.
Michael. The name my mother yells at me, dude. Call me Eric Michael or Foreman. Those are the ones I respond to.
Foreman.
Foreman.
All right, Tub. It's on you.
Yeah, sorry, Foreman. You're
Last
still
question.
here. You don't get to check out that easily. All right, so real quick, and then I'm done. Well, you know. So if you don't win, what is considered a victory? Like, what did you, if you accomplish whatever, you still feel good about running? And would you consider doing this again?
Yeah, I love the question. I really love that big emphasis on if I win. That's awesome. I appreciate that. I think the biggest win is if I can convince somebody else to step up, gain somebody else who says, you know what? Yeah, I can do this. I've got more money. I should have done this, you know, or I've already had my connections. Why didn't I think about doing this before? That kind of thing. I want to empower other people. I would, like I was saying all the time, I want to see a libertarian's name on every single open seat that comes up available at any given time. Whether they want to be a paper ballot candidate, let them be a paper ballot candidate. Just given that option. And then on top of that, try to promote the libertarian ideology over what a party is. Because I think people hear the word party and they don't want to be party. I think it has to be a collectivism. And I try to explain the libertarianism about individuality. We're all individuals united under the common goal of liberty and freedom. You could have a total different lifestyle than your neighbor, but if you have that one common denominator, you can unite. And I push out, you know, it's in our credo, our motto for America. United we stand, divided we fall. And we've seen a lot more division lately than we needed to. I think it's time we all unite under one premise, and that usually is liberty. It's the greatest fighting force in the world. People give their lives for it. We shouldn't have to, but we might have to.
I usually always say the Libertarian Party is about, listen, you can believe what you want to believe, and I can believe what I want to believe, and then it can be very different. But the one thing that we agree on is not government. We don't want government handling whatever it is.
But it is a necessity. I need people to run the show, you know, so I can live my life and grow a family and have. I want security from other countries, invasions. You know, we want these kind of things in a realistic world, and so we're going to have government. We're going to have to find ways to pay for it. It's all about the compromise and what's the other word I'm looking for here? The abuse of the system to enrich themselves and things like that, which I think is our biggest problem in this country is to fraud and abuse.
Yeah. Kind of lost them there.
Just people accountable, we wouldn't have, I think, as much issues.
Indeed. Tub.
I'm good.
All right. So I'm gonna I hope you know, if you haven't already done this, I say you reach out to the Oracle of Omaha. He has plenty of money to throw at your campaign. Tub doesn't know who that is.
Okay, Warren Buffett. I know he's a Democrat sponsor. I don't think he'd be much libertarian other than I know he shares some kind of economic views, you know, in that aspect. But
why not? Just throw it out.
Hey, just reach out.
Yeah.
Everyone in the
that would bring a little ear, but he's not. I don't think he's that kind of charitable guy for the Libertarian Party. I honestly don't feel that would ever happen. But it's a nice thought.
No, man, go for it, bro. I'm telling you, it doesn't hurt. And the only other thing, and you know, we have mentioned this in the pregame, and we don't have a lot of time, but take your time. You know, where would you introduce legislation limiting the federal government's use of flock cameras?
Absolutely. I think those things are so unconstitutional. I don't agree that the government should be able to bypass our Fourth Amendment by paying a private company to subvert our rights. I think that should be illegal in itself. I believe there's an avenue to stop this. I know Nebraska in itself. I mean, I was just on this stuff today. We have bills that's supposed to stop government from being able to do this and using LBDRs for more purposes than what they have a warrant for, that kind of thing. So hiring a separate company is the same thing as hiring a protest group, to go out and disrupt some place of your political opponent or whatever not. You can't use taxpayer money to pay to usurp our Constitution. So there's got to be a way to crime. But again, let's get an attorney involved in this, because I think there's really a way to keep the government from spending money on using this system without a valid warrant and a valid probable cause, not just some willy-nilly, like If we're talking about it, we just hear about all these officers lately getting caught illegally using it for their own personal stuff. I mean, if that's not a red flag right there, why we should pause all of it right now, then I don't know what is. But I found out something different about the flock cameras. Apparently, the places on the public land where they're putting these and installing these, they didn't get the proper okay or permit from the county or the city to install these on this property. Like they're legally planting them on public ground and therefore using public land to generate a profit. And then you're literally taking our taxpayer money. They're stealing our land, taking our money, only to spy on us and violate our Fourth Amendment right. It's a crazy little circle.
Land of the free.
I'm pretty broke.
Did you?
Yeah.
Hey, you finally got rid of Eric? You finally did that?
Yeah, I was sick of him, stroking his luxury. You can't hear me? I was sick of Eric stroking his luxurious beard.
Does he have a helmet on? Oh.
What is going on here? My camera is all different. Anyways.
Yes.
I can't hear y'all.
No?
I can hear you, Mr. Foreman. Can't hear. Maybe that's just as well.
All right. Well, let's let him. Do.
Wait till Tub comes back till we say goodbye. Yeah,
dude, that's
because
the real thing. That happened to my sister-in-law. An officer took a shine to her and literally was using all kinds of tactics to follow her around, any reason to pull her over.
I've read several stories about that. I read the story of this guy named Jaleel Robertson. I think it was Jacksonville, Florida. The flock camera misread his license plate, and he spent over 50 days in jail, lost his house and his job. And the government's going to claim qualified immunity. And I explained that from a flock camera. And I explained that to people in my community because we have them all over the city where I live. And they were saying, well, if your car gets stolen, you're going to be thanking the government for getting it back. I was like, first of all, the car, they're going to see the car leaving the city because you're not going to drive a stolen car around the city that you stole it from. That's pretty stupid. Most criminals are smart, but if you're smart enough to steal a car, you're not that stupid, generally, unless you live in a big city like LA. And I was like, then I asked them, what is the percentage of property returned to the person that was the victim of a property crime? And they were like, well, the city doesn't publish that. I said, because it's below 10%. You will not.
If there's anything to brag about, they'd brag about it.
Yeah. You're not getting your property back. Nobody gets their property back. If you are burglarized, a car stolen, chances are you're not getting it back. And if you get it back, it's going to be stripped and totaled. So stop with the cap, bro. You know, I've been hanging around with the youngsters. Stop with the cap. But yeah. With that being said,
that's a good way to end that
wardrobe changes on us
right there.
Oh yeah. I don't need to see chest hair right now, bro. That's kind of wild. The beard is great. You're already turning me on with the beard. You don't need to break out the chest hair.
Pride month was last month, brother.
Hey, we're going.
Are y'all about to send me some pictures?
Possibly, because Eric does have some pictures on his Facebook page that are pretty
risque. They're
risque. All right,
we'll rate it.
Eric Foreman, so tell the people how they can find you, how they can donate to you.
You can donate through me through Give Send Go or get on my website, ForemanTakeBackOurHouse.com. If you want to just interact with me, I'm usually on X at the one knocking. Very rarely am I on Facebook because I hate Facebook. I wish they would burn. But other than that, I'm also got a page on Rumble. I haven't quite utilized it yet, but I'm hoping to in the next month or so. Other than that, I'm just around here in my town.
That's word. So if you're
can I make a comment about my lemonade stands? Have you guys seen these yet?
Absolutely. No, go for it.
So I got the idea to encourage young kids to start their own business. And I thought, what's more libertarian than selling lemonade out of a lemonade stand, right? So I started building a few of these, and I got some few kids that are really passionate about me running for office, and they're giving away free lemonade anywhere that you see these stands, whether it be in the parks or whatever not. These are kids running stands themselves to make money for themselves. I take nothing that they make at all. I build in the stands. On my website, if you want to volunteer, you can go on there, request a lemonade stand. I'll build one for you if your kids want to run it. But if you want one without political strings attached, small contribution, and I'll build you custom. I'll build you a giant size one you can serve your Mai Tais out of.
I like that. That's awesome. I don't think we've had anybody on here that volunteered to build lemonade stand for kids, because one thing the government indoctrination schools definitely do not do is teach entrepreneurship.
No.
Yeah. I'm proud of myself for being able to enunciate that word this late in the podcast. So I want to give myself some credit for
That's
that.
why I got
Who you kid? You struggle that word at noon. All right.
It's quite possible on Saturday and Sunday. Definitely, yes. Monday through Friday, probably not. But I want to. Is there any thing else? Go ahead, Eric. This is your time.
I don't really know, because I don't know how this all works. I'm just winging it most of the time. Interviews like this that put me at ease, I really love. You let me be myself. I thought I'd have to be so stiff and boring and come up with scripts I have to read verbatim. And that's not me, man. I can't be that type of person. So I know there's people out there wanting more of a polished version for their candidate. I'm sorry I can't be your candidate then, but I hope the ideology and the base principles that I have and the authority problem that I've always had is enough to convince you that we need somebody fighting our government. And you can send me there, because I don't mind taking the licks for you. This is something I'm deeply passionate about. My kids' future's on the line, and if we're not going to go violent, we might as well try to make it peaceful.
Hey,
we're not ruling anything out.
Let your kid know we said, I'm assuming you got one, that the future president of the United States' future is on the line.
I would
let her know we said that.
If my daughter rose to that level, is that now God just telling me the future at that moment?
Man, well, I know I am. God did not tell me this, but I will tell you, I have an 11-month-old daughter, and I've tried, like, when she was born.
Congratulations!
Literally, thank you. Before she was born, I was like, how to become a Supreme Court justice. Not for me. That's past for me, but it can be done by her. She have to obviously go to a good undergrad, law school, get involved, be the underpaying government legal jobs, yada, yada, yada. So I get it. Whenever you told me how much your daughter has an interest in civics, I'm telling you, it brightened my spirit. And I was like, because I got into it in high school, and I heard about libertarianism in an economics class. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like,
let me tell you a little more about it.
All right. If you're okay with it, Tub, I don't know if you're on a time crunch.
Yeah, go ahead.
My daughter, in her room right now, she's got a big parchment duplicate of the Constitution hanging on her wall in the multiple sizes. She's got words of Hamilton in poster form on her wall. This girl she knows it. She loves it already. And she's so dang smart, man. But man, I think encouragement from young, that liberty. I think when you're 11-month-old, started as soon as she starts listening to you, but also treat her with that individual right. And as she's growing up, give her an opportunity to explain herself, as opposed to letting her just scream and cry about something. I let my daughter win arguments if she can articulate and kind of like convince me her point. And she's gotten too good. Like, I don't even know how to compete anymore. It's like she starts talking, and I'm just like, well, I guess I could agree with that. You know?
Do you have a law school picked out for her already, or does she?
That's a dangerous question, considering the way our universities and the quality of education our children are getting. I don't want to send her off to these liberal head transplants, and my daughter comes back with a nose ring and a penis.
I had a question for you.
Tub asked if you're okay with telling us about the.
Yeah, like how old is she? Like high school level? Like how old is she?
She's going to high school. Yes, she's going into high school.
Wow.
She's going into high school.
She's gonna be driving, man. I got to give up my wife's car, and then I got to buy my wife a new car. I just got myself a truck after so much long hard work and a lot of overtime. Finally bought myself a new to me truck, and so with my daughter turning the age of drive, I'm going to give her my wife's car, and then I got to go find myself something my wife will be happy with, and that's going to be expensive.
I mean, it could be worse. You could be giving her your truck.
More overtime is what it sounds like.
Pretty much. I don't mind hard work, man. I really don't. I love getting greasy, dirty. Like even tonight, as I'm on the show, I'm literally on call for my company. So if I get a call and have to run out because of a fire or some stupid person locked their keys out, or they clogged their toilet or some stupid.
You mentioned that you would give the $100,000 to local companies and businesses and stuff. No,
not all of it.
You got a daughter coming of age. No, you don't. You're going to need every bit of that money. You're going to have to go there and spend every bit of that. So you're not giving any to local businesses.
I don't know. I'd help her along the way, but I also want her to earn her way through. Like I did too. I think it teaches strength, but of course I'm going to be your safety net. Dad should always be the daughter's safety net, but you make them sweat it out. You make them make her come to me and ask, but I'm sure she will because she always brings like a lawyer a case to me when she wants something. She'll do background research on it and which place is the cheapest and how fast you can get it here. And my kids are not spoiled by any means. They are not materialistic, which is really nice. They're not in all the fads where they need brand new name clothes and things. I'm really thankful for the way they're growing up, and I give a lot of credit to my wife. She's a very well-grounded person, and it's transcended to my daughters. They're not as troublesome as I was.
Eric's going to have to do too. Eric's going to do the same thing. It's going to be very much credit to Kate.
Honestly, and Tub knows this. He knows my wife. So, and back to a callback to you earlier, Eric, whenever you were like, hey, the best part about running for office is meeting new people in the community. Tub and I know each other because we ran for office as libertarians. Like we showed up to the same libertarian meeting, and we're both, without any influence, deciding on our own we're going to run for office separately for different reasons. Long story short, I think Tub and I are until he dies. How are you, Tub?
Wow.
Anyway, we're lifelong.
Do you know something we don't know?
No, I'm just saying. Tub and I are lifelong. That was an old person joke. I'm sorry.
Hey,
terrible timing.
You need to be fair. Because I met you guys. Wait, Eric. Because I met you guys because you ran for office too.
Exactly.
So
there was the downside. That was the downside of us running for office.
Like, you guys warmed my heart, really. This is just so inspiring. All these friendships made. Just trying to challenge the system.
For you to stop running right now. There should be like, I don't want to end up like this. Just stop running.
I got to meet Tub. I had to meet Marcus, if that makes sense.
Right, that makes sense.
Had to, like at gunpoint, they pilled you up in a limo, shoved you in.
Well, same reason why you're here, Eric. I got to do it, right?
They were both former guests on the podcast because I felt bad for them. And they were DEI guests. They're DEI hosts. I got to do my part to bring us together as Americans and give these people an opportunity. As we close out.
Yeah, I was only saying that to say this. Tub knows my wife. She's obviously the better half. My daughter's going to be amazing.
She's the smart part.
Yeah, exactly.
If his daughter could get some of the political thinking of Eric and the intelligence of her mother, man, that girl's going to do some things.
Yeah, that's dangerous right there. Yeah,
that's going to do some things.
All right, so
but if it's reversed,
So I'm Gen X, dude. And I've always felt Gen Xers will birth the revolutionaries of this country.
We will.
We're the last.
Tub's a boomer.
You're the boomer.
Hey, what boomer? I thought boomers were like people born before 60.
Yeah,
that's Marcus.
Whatever. At any rate,
Marcus is the oldest person on this podcast, guaranteed.
No, Mitch McConnell just texted me, said he enjoyed the last 20 minutes of this podcast, and he wants to really thank Eric Foreman for coming on to the Only Real Libertarian podcast. I want to thank my co-host tonight, Eric Parker, Bold Liberty. You can find him, Eric P904 on X and whatnot, and then Tub.
Just Tub.
Just find Tub on social media.
Just find me somewhere.
Yeah,
hanging out on street corners, whatever happens.
And Mr. Foreman, I followed you on X, so
thank you, appreciate it.
Yeah,
once I want those porn bots, I'm getting tired of those.
Hey, well,
He's borderline. He won't
No
send you some
promises.
stuff.
No promises. I want to thank our producer, Joe Hanous, for booking another awesome guest. I simply don't understand why America is so afraid to listen to libertarians. We have great ideas, like leave you alone and all that good stuff. And the people we have on here are simply awesome people. And Eric Foreman is another guest of high platitude that I want to thank for coming on here. That's my SAT word for the night because I'm in the 4th largest economy.
Platypus, got it. Carry on.
But with that being said, Eric, did you have a final give us
big shout out to you guys, man. Thanks for having me on. This was a lot of fun. I got so nervous, through trying to organize and schedule these things because I've never been a public person. I never even liked cameras. You can, my mom will verify that. But so this is real nice. Thank you. I appreciate it. You guys really make me feel welcome. Great show,
awesome.
Guys. Thank you.
All right. I hope you know how we end this. And if you don't know this phrase, we're not going to hold it against you, but we may look down upon you slightly. This has been the Black Powder Podcast, the only real libertarian podcast that has ever existed. According to Mitch McConnell, for the last 20 minutes, he said it. And, who am I to deny his
dying
words?
request?
Yes. With that being said, as we always end this show, live free or
die. We never get that.